October 21st. Alger County Board of Commissioners. Meeting agenda, all to order. Roll call.
Commissioner Capagrosa. Here. Commissioner Livermore.
Here.
Commissioner Nelson.
Here.
Commissioner Rondo.
Here.
Commissioner Seaver.
Here. Vicky, come here, start us with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before brief public comment, do we have any public comment?
I'm Roy Engel from Matthias Township Dictionary. Just a follow-up of what I presented at the last meeting about electricity and this article was in the Mining Journal. Renewable Ready Communities Awards. They're giving out $3.5 million to 9 local governments. Okay, Groveland Mine Solar Project, Phelps Township got $141,000. Norway Township, $252,500. Segola Township, $106,500. The Grover Mine siting is on the wastelands, mine rock fields that were left over from the mine, and that's where they're putting the solar panels. Other examples of that they're granting are road and bridge repairs, fire department upgrades, park and playground enhancements, accessibility accommodations, and grounds improvements, energy upgrades for public buildings, and street light upgrades according to the news release. And that's basically what it is. And that's what I wanted to have you take a look at and think about. Might be something good for the future for Alger County.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Close public comment. Agenda, I'd like to move number 8 up to 5.5. And we also have another letter here we have to do something with on Cam, and I can move that at 9.5.
Second.
Any other changes anybody want? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sure. That works. Okay. Sheriff Brock?
Yeah,
You got
thanks.
the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Seaver. Yeah, we're here tonight. I wanted to bring before the Alger County Board, a great company, Picture X Kayaking, that we would like to, honor tonight. I'd submitted them for a Life Savings Award. And I'll explain what happened here within a minute or two. But to meet the criteria for Life Savings Award, the victim or the patient had to be pulseless and basically full coat. Well, thank God our patient that Picture X Kayaking retrieved out of the waters of Lake Superior never got to that point because of their quick, fast actions. The first thing I'd like to thank is I'd like to thank Picture X Kayaking, John Seabird Pontoon Rentals, Hendrickson, the Glass Bottom Tours, everybody that works in our bay and around our bay and in the Munising vicinities take pride in their operations on the lake. And you more than not are going to be the one responding before we arrive, because you're normally on the water before we can get a rescue crew on our boat and out there. And many, many times over the years, I'm gonna start doing more of this. We've had these similar scenarios. You know, Dean, I know you've brought your own private pontoon on some things for us in the past. And John, with your boats, I mean, everybody's done such a great job out there helping us keep the people safe. But I'll get to tonight. I'll read the quick synopsis. June 27th at approximately 10:20 a.m., Pictured Rocks Kayaking and their crew responded to a distress call of a man in the water by Bridal Veil Falls, and the man was unable to return to his kayak. The crew responded and successfully removed the man from the cold waters of Lake Superior. The man retrieved from the water showed signs of hypothermia and shock. The crew provided the man with an emergency blanket and water, getting him to shore where EMS awaited him to get him medical care. Due to these heroic efforts by Picture Rocks Kayaking, the man from this incident is alive and well. Congratulations to this crew and this company. Sincerely, Todd W. Brock, Alger County Sheriff. And I have an award for each and every one of you. I'd like to present, first I'd like to present Picture Rocks Kayaking Company itself and Deidre for having a great crew. So thanks, Steve. She said, "You're not gonna call me up, are you?" Oh, I'm sorry. That one, the captain, Nicole Birchfield, our captain. Right, we stand, Nicole got the boat within 10 feet or closer to the victim, which is amazing with the size of those boats, so that's great work. Third is Lillian Presnell. Next is Bobby Wines. Next is Danica Purdy.
Danica's not here.
Okay, Danica's school teacher.
No,
No.
Katie's the school teacher. Danica lives in Superior Central, so.
Gotcha,
Make sure
thank
she
you.
gets it. Yeah.
Thanks. Next one is Don Kleinhans. Don? And last but not least, we have Katie Bridges. Katie.
She's
Katie
not
is the one
teacher.
that's-
Yep.
Mr. Sheriff, I'd like to thank you for your heroic efforts that kept the gentleman safe before we arrived. Our EMS crew thanks you, as do I. And just, all you guys, keep up the great work. We're lucky to have all these up in the bay, so thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, number 6, consent agenda. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
There's some good stuff on consent agendas, yes.
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Any other questions? Roll call?
Commissioner Caprosa,
Yes.
Commissioner Livermore,
Yeah.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Rondo.
Yes.
Commissioner Seaver.
Yes. Minutes, everybody had a chance to look at the minutes from September 9th, September 16th, and September 30th.
Oh, I was like, why are there so many? Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. We had
I read them, but I'm
we had
like-
special.
Can you say it out loud?
Move to approve the minutes.
I'll second that.
Any questions?
People rip you and everything.
Roll call?
Rich got his name in there.
Commissioner Caprosa. Yes. Commissioner Livermore,
Yep.
Commissioner Nettleton.
Yes.
Commissioner Rondo.
Yes.
Commissioner Seaver.
Yes. And number 9, Lillian,
Hi,
you have the floor.
thank you. Hi, everybody. I think I've met everybody maybe individually, but I've actually never presented to you guys before. So thank you for having me. And I hope this maybe could be a regular thing, but I don't want to talk too much either.
You
So,
are invited.
Oh,
Thank
oh, absolutely not. I like it out here. It's great. But thank you though. It just looks like a hot seat, so I don't know. So I know that, I gave Joel a few of the materials. One of them is a huge packet. You're more than welcome to look at it. I have it. I'm happy to send it out. It's basically our entire plan for 2025, which was approved by the Michigan Indigent Defense Commission on October 15th. And so they've approved it. They like our budget. They like our numbers. And now we present it to you as a board, to enter into the contract for 2025 for MIDC. The big question, right? The local share, the amount that Alger County contributes, stays the same. And it's the same number it's been for, I think, since its inception, really, and the first agreement. And I think you have in the packet, the grant, the numbers, the big important numbers. You will notice that from last year, our big total number that we're asking from the state is actually smaller than the previous year. I think our office has crunched numbers to be a bit more fiscally conservative, to be a bit tighter. But unfortunately, the local share is still the same, so that didn't reduce, but it didn't go up, so yeah. I guess what we're doing as an office, I think it's important to kind of describe what we've been doing, especially since we haven't presented to you as a group before. Some of the big changes are, obviously, our budget has changed a little bit. We have different needs, and one of those is asking for more experts, asking for more investigators as well. Which I know the prosecutor, it's probably aggravating a little bit, having to make them work a little bit. But they make us better, we make them better. So, it's very good. So, also as an office, we have moved all of our stuff to digital. So we're paperless. I still have papers, but all of our filing system is using a server based. And so we're relying on server space quite a bit. We know that DTech is going to be working to make our server space more. But yeah.
Is that something that you guys can help fund?
Well, yes. And I think it's in there. It is in there. So, yes.
Oh, they did?
Yes, but there is some funding available. Let's say if there was server space that we were maxing out for 2025. We did set aside some funding of it for that because we know that there is kind of a lot of load with a lot of the videos, evidence that we request, and we upload it. So we kind of earmarked some funds just in case.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, they would get their own version.
not all of it, but yeah,
Have their own drive.
yeah. So the other option would be to use a cloud-based system, but then there's some protection issues there.
I think the county should get it and we'll just charge them rent.
They got their own server. Their own version.
Yeah, and we'll charge them rent for it.
Oh, there we go. Rent and management. Yeah, nice. But yeah, so I think that's made us more efficient for sure. It's also made our files a lot more accurate and making them easily updated, which is just good for all of us. So, yeah, and I think also just in the community, our focus as an office has been more about rehabilitation and recovery. Yes, we still have clients who are sentenced to jail. That happens, but I think we're able to utilize more resources in the community as well as utilize treatment courts. That would include the sobriety court, mental health court. We are trying to position cases in that way. Sometimes cases go to trial for sure. But we have a lot of clients who do need help and are wanting help, but aren't in a position to get it yet. And we can help them. And I think we've had some success this year for sure. So, does anybody have any questions, any thoughts? I haven't really, I've met all of you individually, but not really as a collective. And so if there's anything I can help with. All right.
You know me, if I got a question, I go for that.
Well, that's true. And you guys are always more than welcome to stop by. If we're busy or something, we'll just kick you out.
The
So,
better the can.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Absolutely. So you'll see some numbers in the grant that was in the packet. And this has to be signed, if it's approved, if everyone's in consensus on it, it'll be signed by Ms. Johnson, Treasurer Johnson, on a system called eGrams. So it'll be a digital signature. And so if you don't sign in this, it would just be useless. So, but this has all that information and the agreement between us and the state.
I should think I'm already logged in E-grams. Does that have to do with for friend to look at?
No? Yeah,
And this one.
yeah,
Okay.
it might boot you out,
Go ahead.
so. So, thank you, guys, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
On that note. I know the courts are looking at going all paperless at some points.
Sorry.
I just know that's coming down from the.
Kind of, sorta.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be. Now, did we ever think that with our service? Are they gonna jam up what we have if they do go paperless?
That new case management system on the state side of it.
I'm not sure, it's gone back and forth where they store their data, but they also said this 10 years ago.
And we should have a lot of extra capacity available, virtual server.
All right.
Listed,
When she said that, I started thinking that it's gonna use a lot. I'm like, we got that coming.
That's one of the reasons we did what we did, was the fact that we'll have.
Yeah, and her stuff is
Very,
specific
very-
to county information, whereas the state, I'm almost pretty sure that new case management system, everything's gonna
Run
be
about state.
on the state. Right, they can't make us responsible for housing.
No.
Okay.
Oh, they can't give us unfunded mandates?
They do. They already do.
But they want access to, but they also want access to the information, so.
I'll ask them,
They can play it.
but we can always. buy servers.
Right.
Way to get it.
All right, any other questions about Lillian's? I like to, we need a motion on that, yes, please.
Move to accept the MIBC financing for the, oh my gosh, we get the name.
What was that?
For the Public Defender's Office.
I'll support.
Roll call?
Commissioner Caprosa?
Yeah.
Commissioner Livermore?
Oh.
Commissioners, I'd just like to state as the sheriff and speaking with the sheriff's office, we really appreciate Lily's office and Rob's office. We have a great relationship with both the offices. And I believe their, how they work together is a standard that should be applauded. You guys are just really impressed me and I appreciate your office and your office, Rob. So thank you from our office.
I think the whole county has been working together in the last couple of years, very good.
It's good to hear.
And everybody's works together.
Like how would you use it?
We're still on over right now.
Where were?
The elevator's over there, Whitey. Oh, boy.
Commissioner Nelson?
Yes.
Commissioner Rondo?
Yes.
Commissioner Seaver?
Yes.
Yeah, we know we're so far out of order. We start over.
9.5, we're looking for a letter of support for Mishda for our camp. Everybody just got that, just came in, so everybody got a chance to read it. They provide a lot of like the windows, insulation, stuff like that.
Sure, those.
The Michigan Hope grants.
It's hard enough just making your bills and then when you have to update your house and something and you're in that position, it's good to have that resource.
Any questions on that?
This has been around for a while.
Yeah.
Good program.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion, we send a letter.
$600,000.
Second.
Roll call?
It's not much money anymore.
Commissioner Caprosa?
Yes.
Commissioner Livermore?
Yes,
Commissioner Nettleton?
Yes.
Rondo?
Yes.
Commissioner Seaver?
Yes.
What are you trying to call you?
Commissioner Mike, I think. that's good.
Do you want that to do, you want me to sign that or you want the chair?
Anybody can sign it, I don't care. Who has to sign it?
Because name and title.
Consider the name and title.
I make a motion, we have, Joel sign it,
Second.
all in favor?
I,
There you go, Joel. Tell your
Your name on it.
on record. Okay, number 10. License plate scanner invoice.
Stonegarden.
What is the license plate scanner?
As far as drug detection, it's an asset for, to combat drugs in our county, drug detection. We got an area where we think there's drug trafficking been going through that area. We can put that detector out, that detector catches license plates as they come through the area.
competitive ones come up more.
Yep. Yeah, and it's, other ways we can use it too, but mostly, through Stonegarden, because it's drug detection, they'll fund 100% of it. We just pay it up front, then they reimburse it. 100% reimbursable, but it's one of the tools we got to combat our drug use and drug abuse in the
So we
county.
know, license plate number that we think may be coming through here, we can plug it in there and it'll alert us when it came through.
And how?
It'll capture the image of it, and then we can run that image through our lien. And the lien will tell us who that plate come back to. I don't think it has the ability to tell us
Oh,
the driver,
Not connected
vehicle. I don't
directly
think it
to,
connects that far in, but we'll be able to take that plate, put it into the lien and run it down. Registered owner of that car will come right back.
not asking to give away too much, but is it like a stand, like a stationary, like, it's like a trail cam, or is it gonna be mounted in the vehicle? Or can it be either or? Or should you not answer that question?
don't answer
No,
Yeah.
it's fine, no, like,
No, it can be A, B, and C. We
Okay,
got
no, I'm
multiple
serious.
uses for it, depending, we could put it in an isolated area, we could put it in a vehicle, we could,
Perfect.
depends what the use is for.
No, I'm glad that it's deployable in a multitude of,
Yeah, it'll do.
It's a drone.
instead of,
Say we get a missing
no, the
child
angles are bad for drones.
with a vehicle with a partial plate. You get a missing child with a vehicle for a partial plate, and it snapped a picture of a plate. It's more than just drug detection. It can do a
Yeah.
lot of things. We're capturing license plates, much like you go to Florida and they got the tolls in Florida, they capture your plate. That's what this will do. But we want it for drug detection. Areas we can put out. And people hopefully don't know it's there, and we capture drug detection.
Most of our big drug busts on the road occurred based on information from the license plate detector and at the toll on the bridge. By implementing this program here in Alger County, that's just another step where we can, prevent those drugs from hitting the streets here. And maybe send them around.
I want to send them around.
We keep standing up, they'll just won't come to
You know
shoot
my
me at
position
all.
on the matter.
Yeah, it's a proactive approach, and if the drug dealers and the people doing the drugs know this tool is available and then used in Alger County, maybe it sends them out of our county.
And we have seen that. We have seen, because of the way our law enforcement partnerships happen in Alger County, we've seen people getting to Gwin from the bridge that never touched Alger County. Gwin and West Ishmael, so we're very proud of it.
Some of the other counties will get on board and just
Yeah.
a total block then.
It is a regional problem, but our citizens are Alger County citizens.
Oh, no, that's,
What do you got that's gonna guarantee that it don't come back on the average person?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
If you got this licensed scanner. How do I know that it don't scan my vehicle and I'm charged with something I never did?
No,
And you would be found not guilty.
Well, but I have to defend myself then.
Well,
That's pretty damn expensive.
I'm wondering what circumstance the the innocent citizen would be flagged by this license plate reader.
Right,
It would only detect information that we're looking for ahead of time.
we'll get a call of a black Cadillac, late 70s model, Michigan or Illinois registration. It's not just, we're not just out to capture everybody's plate. And it's one of these things, if we don't stay one step ahead of the bad guy, we're not gonna catch the bad guy.
Yeah, but somewhere along the line with the bad guy, you get into my rights.
I can promise you that we will not dig in
Yeah,
your
but your
rights.
promise, don't keep me out of jail.
What rights are we talking about? That you don't have a right to drive.
Huh?
Driving is a privilege in our state, so there's no constitutional provision that says, hey, I got a right to drive. That's why you have to have a license to drive. So, and because we drive on public roadways, your license plate's fair game. If I'm a cop, I can go run your plate right now. And if it comes back, hey, this belongs to somebody who has an arrest warrant, we're gonna make that traffic stop and make that arrest. Now, if we're out there just scanning license plates for no reason, I would say that it's an inefficient use of time and resources.
yeah.
yeah, you're not a big enough population center. In the big cities, they put them in their traffic enforcement cars and they go up and down the street and they read every plate on the street. And their systems are connected.
Well, the Mackinac Bridge.
So like the lien system, it will pop up, "Huh, you got 23 unpaid parking tickets. Well, here comes a tow truck right behind you to throw your car away. Or you've got a warrant, or, they can set the tolerances for
But
it.
Mike, what happens if you don't, when they come take your car?
The only thing,
There's
you know when that happens?
all the time.
That happens when like your kid takes your car and gets a whole pile of tickets and doesn't tell you, well, that's still your problem because you let the kid take the car.
But it's not, nothing is, so that it's proof that you're,
But there's no
there's
action.
always
Yeah.
something that can happen.
Like the prosecutor
But when
said,
you, what I'm saying is, what are you doing to protect the guy the innocent guy? with
Well,
that?
if there's no crime committed, there's there's no issue there. It'd be the same as me. This is just a hyper efficient way for me to drive around and look at license plates. I mean, there's nothing saying that I can't, as a government official, look at license plates on a public roadway. I
Take
can,
pictures of them.
I can take pictures of them. I can, if I have the ability.
I mean, it's not videoing you swerving down the road, you know, saying, hey,
Hopefully the
look, this
officers do
car,
that.
you know. But I'm just saying, that's what you're probably trying to get to, is that, you know, how is this
Yeah, they're not gonna
not?
come arrest you just because your
Yeah.
license plate showed up on 94 14 times last month.
I'll
No,
give you an example when this is used.
That's-
It might help you.
that's-
I just wanna make sure
Because
that,
TV6 isn't here, so I can give you guys in the room an example where this might be used. A Couple of years ago, we had some information,
Hey, boss,
what's that?
you
we
realize
still
that
are recording.
there's a little,
Online.
little man here.
Oh, okay, that's okay.
So you're not giving away something
That's
that
fine.
should be.
A few
I
years
know
ago,
what
we
he's
got
going to.
information, Grand Marais, that we thought there's an airplane coming in at night, flying drugs in and out of Grand Marais. And it's in a rural area, and we put car after car and manpower after manpower to catch who was coming in at that time. So if we would have had this, we could have put this hidden in the woods, identified it, pointing right at the airport, and saw who was coming in the Grand Marais Airport, possibly dropping off drugs. That was a situation where we didn't have this tool. This could have been a good tool to use.
As a
And
piece of the
it was
puzzle.
unfounded. We don't know if it ever happened or not, but there was a complaint of it. And it went unfounded, but we didn't have these kind of tools to help us.
And we had to spend a lot of money putting people sitting there waiting for a tip
And watching license plates.
and watching.
But it could be a
Way to put putting an officer there.
Yeah.
20%. Now, I can tell you this, I see no way that this is going to be used in an unconstitutional manner. These types of, like I said, the largest one in our state exists not 2 hours from here at the Mackinac Bridge. The situation is just an efficiency tool to assist us. It's free, or not free, somebody else is paying for it. And,
We all are eventually.
yeah, eventually, well.
Remember, this is owned by the county, so if we ever decide that we don't want this, the county can sell it.
I just want my
Huh?
constitutional rights protected.
Yep,
And if you're spying on me, I don't particularly like that. It's like the snitch deal.
Hmm.
yeah,
It's the same thing.
I understand you're not that interesting to spy on.
I'm not, but you know,
So I can tell you this,
It's like traffic cams.
from a legal, it's like traffic.
You're
counts.
honest, like, really.
From a legal perspective, let's say we get your license plate crossing a certain place many, many times. That's not gonna be enough to invade your Fourth Amendment rights. That's just one piece of the information that we have. Now, let's say that information comes in, that so-and-so crossed this particular line of travel X amount of times. This person was also seen dealing drugs on one side of that point, and they live on the other side of that point, and they're also a known drug user. I think we get our search warrant there. I think we do, but that's a whole lot of more information.
Mhm.
This is just the other piece, and I think honestly, it's gonna be used more for EMS and emergency services.
These are used at Mackinac Bridge, and they've caught child abductions at the Mackinac Bridge with these. You know, look, watching this plate, this color car, all of a sudden, bam, there it hits.
There it is.
It's in this location. We're notified, maybe we can find a missing child, and so more than just drug reasons. There's a lot of good concepts behind it. Absolutely zero concept about violating anyone's constitutional rights, such as
I don't think that this device could be used to violate constitutional rights.
No.
you don't think.
I just can't see a picture where it is, like it does, it's not looking in your home. It's not, it's just taking, it's, yeah.
Get up here.
I'm happy.
No, I just don't like something that's gonna invade on my rights.
Right, I understand. I
And
understand.
it's, if there's something that'll guarantee that, then I'm fine with it, but if it's not,
There's just no way that it could, like.
Lillian, I see you got something to say about this.
There's a lot of case law that goes against, I think, what Commissioner Rondo, what you're saying, and I completely understand that point. What's unfortunate is we have a license plate on every vehicle to drive in the state of Michigan lawfully. Even like an old classic car is gonna have a historic plate on it. And that number and that plate number, even if it's a vanity plate and it's letters, is in a system that law enforcement uses. And it's also openly displayed to everybody. So actually, I think anytime you have a cop behind you, maybe they might be running your license plate. And that's just the reality of today. I think the license plate reader, and I shouldn't say this with my position, but I think it's actually minimally intrusive compared to a lien of what an officer would do in running a plate, because they would also be getting personal information. The snapshot moment and tracking just what the plate is openly displayed. I think it's more minimally intrusive, and I think case law and constitution would say, nah, your rights aren't infringed. But I do understand your concerns, for sure.
It's a neighborhood watch.
That was very well said.
That's how I would put it. It'd be just like me if I was living down the road and I said, this car keeps coming to my house. I wrote down its license plate. I brought it in and said that I've seen this stuff going on and here's that
There's a
information.
gentleman that lives around the corner from me that for about 6 months straight took pictures of every
Yeah,
car.
but
that
there's
ran-
nothing,
Every picture that took the stop
So-
sign and put them on Facebook.
it's like everything else, there's nothing to say that it can't be misused.
How would it be misused?
I just, yeah.
Is it hooked to the internet?
Is your concern that somebody would be driving and maybe they're just habit, like they're a commuter? Like if my plate was run, I take 94 every day to come to work. And somebody would see that and be like, oh, she's taking 94, routine. Is your concern that somebody would be arrested just because of their regular routine?
No, I just, do they have the right to be doing that to the average person? That's my concern.
And I would say the Supreme Court of the United States has said yes, and Michigan has said yes too. But I do think you're highlighting an argument, Victor.
I think she's tried to make that argument before.
Yes.
It's a valid question because it's counterintuitive to us as Americans where, oh my God, I'm out here and the cops are running my plate. Well, they can, just like a cop can walk up to you on the street and say hello.
But they can't ask you who you are.
They can ask,
You don't have to answer.
no.
Unless you're on a federal reservation and then they require US Marshals to lock you up to your fingerprints.
That's different.
That's how we dealt with it in the army. If somebody wouldn't produce their ID.
I would, as a powerful tool for law enforcement, it's gonna help us. And it's gonna help our find kids that are taken or abducted.
As long as they ain't abuse, that's my problem.
I don't, see even if tomorrow we elect the most rights violating persons you can think, positions of power in this county, this tool just doesn't have the juice to give them enough to
Yeah.
violate somebody's rights.
Like I said earlier, this tool will be owned by Alger County.
Yeah, it costs us less than a deputy
That
sitting on the
means
side of the
this
road taking
board to
pictures.
sell that tool again too.
You could sell it to a private citizen even.
It's not a saving measure.
Very fun. Yeah, we had now.
Well,
I'm
actually, the Stone Garden people, that's their property. They would take precedence even over the board because they're paying for it.
So we give it
If
back.
we're abusing it, they'd be like, give it back.
I mean, we'd sell it, we'd say,
Yep.
you guys can take
If
it.
they're
back.
abusing it, we get sued. It was a ton of money.
So.
It's a good drug detection tool for us to use to help us.
Yeah, it doesn't cost us a penny. It saves money.
Right,
Yes.
it's gonna save us
It's
massive.
another tool, much like our canine, when I get questioned, what are you doing to combat drugs in Alger County? It's nonstop. We're nonstop fighting this fight. There's more stuff going on behind the scenes than you'll ever imagine.
Oh, I don't know
And
that.
our drug teams, our people on the streets that are all doing this job need these kind of tools to survive in this field. There's too many tools for the bad guys right now, and we need to even the score.
I would like to point out to the members of the public that it is solar powered as well.
All time.
That's a counter, not a.
Well, we don't know what it looks like. It could look like that.
We have the right to roam. And
The abuse that a lot of the times the government does is because we allow it.
I do see on this side though, I don't think it's gonna be and that's my personal opinion, that it will not be used for that. It's more looking for a specific person or vehicle. We're gonna have.
Yes, we do need the motion. Yeah, to answer your question.
I'll make a motion to. Oh geez,
Approve.
yes, to approve the license plate scanner.
I'll second that.
Any last questions?
You aren't gonna use that come the back row from Munising to.
Tell you what, if your Lions beat my Vikings one more time, I'm putting it out.
Hey,
But I'll bring some information that's not available to the public.
so in other words, he's saying yes.
I thought about you yesterday, just, so you know,
I
no.
didn't know you were a Vikings fan. I like your fans.
Roll call.
Oh, yeah.
Commissioner Caprosa,
Yes.
Commissioner Livermore,
Yes,
Commissioner Middleton.
Yes.
Commissioner Rondo.
No,
Commissioner Seaver.
Yes. Number 11, cost saving ideas revenue. That was just one of them, I think,
Yep.
personally. It's gonna cut down on time people sitting looking for vehicles. Any other cost saving ideas?
The district court today announced a new policy on awarding restitution, and they're going to take a different approach to our reimbursement fees in OWI crimes, which will assist the general fund, albeit incrementally. But, you know, every year we tell the board that we're gonna shoot for $10,000 in revenue, but it's up to the judge whether he awards it. Well, today he seemed to take a more of a position that the costs of prosecution in OWI crimes is more important than what we previously deduced. Our monies go directly into the general fund that are gained from that. So it was a positive day for the general fund.
So I'm sure you're gonna want a piece of that.
That was discussed. In Schoolcraft, they take a large portion of money and give it to the K-9 crime victim advocate in the office. I'm not gonna ask for that, even though I just got a new dog, but there's different things that we can do, partnering with the law enforcement sheriff's office to use that money. Some counties use it for buy money, where they you know, use it to take a confidential informant and they give them the money, like say it's $100 or $200, and then they go buy drugs under a controlled environment. And then we can prosecute that dealer using that money. But there's all kinds of things we can look to in the future. I'm very confident in this board and I'm very comfortable with it going into the general fund right now. That's why I asked for it.
And the jail cells just got done.
They are done.
Brian said they were just finishing the last of them, so if they're not, we're within a day or two or a couple days. I will be reaching out to Marquette County and gauging their interest in renting some bed space from us.
And I think we should definitely, when we do that, if we do that agreement, we do have to put some kind of clause in there. We don't want. If it isn't working out, we need to be able to pull,
Send them back, yeah.
because
Don't want your problem children.
we don't want their problem.
Yeah.
You know, it's different when you got a county that has no jails at all. We're getting all of them to where they have jails. So it's like, okay, are they just gonna send us the ones that they don't wanna deal with? So,
That's been conveyed. I spoke with their under sheriff and he knows that.
yeah, but we do gotta have that in writing to where
It'd be
there is a
really,
hope for us to say, okay, this ain't working, thank you, but. The others? Was that one, number 12, unfinished business? Do we have any unfinished business? No, was that resolutions? We have none of, right at this point that are completed? No. Committee reports. Anybody got any committee reports?
Didn't have any more since. Yeah.
Anybody have one since last week? No?
I had DHHS,
Okay.
and just honestly, it's just a struggle with, you know, the kids in foster care and all of the different programs and everything. It's hard to find people to step up. I know that we only have 2 foster homes in Alger County. So placement of children that need it is hard to find, and then workers being, can't think of the word right now. A worker in that field. It's hard to find people who want to do that anymore. So it's been a struggle finding the people who put forth the effort to make sure that those kids and everybody are safe. So
Everybody's raising nice kids and now I got one grandkid, I don't know how you do it. Any correspondence?
Michigan State Tax Commission draft inflation modifier, we applied it to the budget already. And that notice for the materials management October 30th meeting.
it looks like a
More comments? Rick, start with you.
Yeah, I missed the, conference. And I don't know if it costs the county anything for doing that, but I'd like to reimburse them.
We canceled the room and then the registration was what it is.
$300.
Yeah. We'll take that.
I mean, like to put it into
Yeah.
the fund. We'll
You
just
can
take
that
it.
go to the,
But in a controlled by.
Donation fund? Or controlled by-
Control by-
Controlled by.
Yeah.
We've never charged anybody for missing.
Yeah, well, I feel bad. You know, you hit the nail on the head. It was, if it were this week, it would be good.
we all have things.
Life happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's. This time of year, I go
I'm
day
like,
by day,
I know
I
what he's
don't
feeling.
look that far out.
Yeah,
I'll make an appointment, then it comes to that next Friday, it's like, oh, you gotta be 3 places at once, and you gotta pick. And that's why we have 5 people on this board, we have a life too, we all have running businesses. Kids, family, you have to, that's why we have 5 and not 1.
And there was 2 of us going, I was able to go, so I sucked up information for both of us. So,
you went, yeah, oh, just,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
which speaking of, did you pass that to Kelly? For your meeting on the 30th? No. This guy. It's called plasma gasification. I'm not gonna go into it. It will take things like the plastics and stuff that like the Murph and Marquette cannot recycle. They can do something with it.
I heard they're building a new, where did I just read that?
So, I mean, they can even take, the paper mill's crud. They can take the literal crud, the solids from the waste plant and run it through this process. And the short of it is basically out the other end comes a gas that they can then feed through a digester and turn into a petroleum alternative. And then hydrogen gas, which when paired right, goes to a power plant that runs and provides the power to run the system, so.
For recycling their own way of
Phil Mann was
recycling.
gave a very nice presentation. Yeah, worth bringing, I specifically asked him, if he'd been in touch with UpCap yet, and he smiled, he said, no. I said, well, you need to be. I said, give me your information, I'll give it to our representative, that will be at their meeting that's coming up very soon.
That's what's
So-
Friday, isn't
The 30th,
So,
it? Friday?
this may be a good piece of the puzzle to
next
get us
Wednesday.
to jump up that number a
Thursday.
lot quicker, and percentages of things, yeah. Not saying it's a perfect answer, but it may be a good piece to add to the puzzle. Couple other just quick things from them. Most of the state legislators were there, in person. Brought up Representative Preston, he's a, licensed paramedic as well. I was talking about paramedics and fire departments, so I hit him with the whole, I said, every meeting I met with our fire chiefs. Cause he was talking about the problem of not having enough people for the volunteer departments. He said, our department's got people, they got nobody to train them. We need a fix at the Lansing level. He says they are working on it, so, take it for what it is, but and they were all there at the time too, so they all heard it. So, just wanted to, I do listen when I go to those meetings, folks, so. Figured I'd take the opportunity to throw that at them and. All the representatives that spoke. From Senator McBroom to Representative Hill. All feel that the statewide septic thing is never gonna make it in lame duck, no matter who comes out on top. That they feel that there's no stomach for
Good.
moving it forward.
Yeah.
Not a guarantee, but when people on both sides of the coin are saying, yeah, this isn't gonna get anywhere. So I know that was a big thing, so I want to make sure I brought that, and there's some other things that I'll pass to the people that need to know them. But overall, it was good. It was good to meet some of these commissioners from
Yeah,
around the UP,
it's good.
make some connections. I tried to make sure I sat with different people each time, so not just hanging out with people I knew. Yeah, it was good. I would recommend, and in the spring, no way I can go. That's a very busy time at work, but I would continue going in the fall. So, thank you for presenting.
Thank you.
I worry about my constitutional rights quite a bit, and, I don't trust this stuff. You know, when it gets into the wrong hands, you're in deep trouble. And I worry about that. That's why I'm going to no on that.
The artificial intelligence.
Right. It's a serious thing. And another thing, I do have a question. We have a problem here with no driver's ed teacher in the county. Is there anything going on with that?
I have a deputy getting trained right now.
You're
Okay,
gonna say somebody.
Dyer was supposed to.
I just keep saying a person. I
Which is good too, because he is
haven't
our-
thrown any my name under the bus, anybody,
He's our
yeah.
officer, so he's gonna be in there, that's gonna be an op, and
It's gonna be good fit.
when's he done, do you know?
He's here. No, he's going to train today. I saw him. I don't know how soon, very soon. I think he
Oh,
had,
good.
Working on.
very close, very close. If this isn't his last one, he's close.
That's good.
and that'll be good too, because that gives us a little bit more. Wintertime is busy, summertime, school's out, that'd be a good time to. I know when I took driver's ed, it was always in the summer, they always did it in the summertime.
Yeah, the 302 fund.
Classes were the last thing during the school year, and then we drove during the summer.
Yeah.
Was it Marvin Mackey?
No, this was school sponsored back in our day.
Marvin Mackey taught my drivers out.
Mr. Kennedy and Mr. Pyanen, that's. You had the same two I had.
No, I had no answer.
Really?
We went to the golf course, had a candy bar and a pop and.
Somebody else missing in there though.
Well, that's good news, that you got somebody.
Kelly? Nothing, Jay staff comments, Joel?
We're plugging away at budgets. Early voting starts on Saturday. And that's probably gonna be the bulk of coming here.
Remember that, early voting on Saturday.
I do have a question for you though, on that. Come out, Miss Jocelyn Benson, is she the one that Secretary of State?
Yes.
Said that she won't be able to release that till Wednesday.
It's really,
It's, you know, the total of it. Is there, what's the reason for that?
We'll be able to. get
Oh,
our
no,
county
you won't find out on
We
Tuesday
report-
the fifth.
if
No, I mean,
everything comes in that night, we can, yeah, maybe the same, well, officially they don't call anything until the state canvassing board actually.
Until Wednesday, is that what you do that?
Well, you'll have results to the media and on websites.
I know,
Unofficial result.
Oh, yeah, like the same as any other.
but I just thought maybe there's something in there that now she said you ain't gonna know until Wednesday.
That's normal.
Yeah, I mean, I
Our
don't
result-
think she's committed to saying you're gonna know that night, maybe.
I mean, the media is gonna be calling Joel that night.
They always do, I mean, they start
Well,
calling at 8
so do
o'clock.
I.
and get
That's
results.
But
Nothing.
I was just wondering if there's something that's,
No, we still,
Because
as
he
soon
didn't
as all
make
the
that
results are, when we get the results from every jurisdiction, we have to call into the state, reporting center, the CNR, election night reporting, so nothing's changed.
Well, I had an idea. Go ahead, Joel. Or Nick. Well, I had an idea for Joel. If he just puts a group chat of everybody who wants to know it, at the end of the night, he can just boom.
He does that.
I do, I haven't either.
Call everybody.
You're on the ballot, here's your result.
He does that.
Don't call me, I'll call you.
Robbie?
Just briefly, on that note, we had election training today for law enforcement. Went very well. I'm gonna get a memo to all of our guys, and girls that are, in uniform for election day. Some of the big, ticket items are voter intimidation and election worker intimidation, which our state has specific laws that prevent intimidation at the polls. So I was very good to educate our guys in uniform on those particular instances, should they encounter an election day. I think that we're not gonna have any issues, because the citizens of Alger County are all very cordial and nice, and nobody's going to make a disturbance at the polls.
Sure.
Couple other things, I just got back from vacation, appreciate everybody's patience in my absence, especially my staff. They're really rock stars. This is the first time I was away in a while for a non-work related absence. And if they could sign the papers, they would, and they are more than qualified to do so. I have the best staff in the world, and I stand by that. And our computer system is up and running, our statewide computer system. We have the state is paying for it for the first 5 years, I think. And then it's gonna cost us incrementally more per year. I think the first year is $7,000, which is a small portion of our overall budget, but that's not till 2027. And our staff loves it. I love it. I can do prosecution from my living room without having to carry files around. And it's an awesome program that the state has put forth for us. Lastly, and I'm glad that Attorney Harmon is still here. I think, just keep in your minds, we went through the salary thing, we were going through the budget thing. They are getting exactly what they need to do their jobs, and they're deserving of it. They do a very good job. But it's still close to $250,000 more than what we get to prosecute the crimes, to put the case on. Now, they have different needs, different things that they have to be concerned about, but it is like the words unfunded mandate were said earlier in the meeting. And that's why at the state level, in the prosecution board, we're trying for that state funding to get those numbers on the prosecution side. So that way, you have one attorney doing the work of two, or two staff members doing the work of four. So look for that further in my budget
I
discussion.
think when that all came about, it was so one-sided and they wanted to make it even, but they kind of went way too far with it.
And I think that, I don't know if they went way too far. I think that they took an objective measure of what is needed, and they were sued and they lost. And this is what it costs to defend crime in the county of Alger. I'm not arguing that. We have some of the best attorneys in the state. I know that because I have to sit there with them every day, sometimes getting my butt kicked. And
Humility.
yeah, right. So it just makes me wonder, and this is not an issue that's unique to Alger County, obviously. This is the same conversation our prosecutors are having with their boards across the state. So look for more on that, but thank you for everything else.
Yeah.
Don't have nothing. We're busy with properties, trying to get housing. I don't know if you're gonna discuss that tonight or not. On
Do we need
property,
to have a discussion? Oh,
on the what property to use for the housing profits.
we're looking at housing out. And just to throw it by, and I don't know what, we have a piece of property in Wetmore behind the health department. Is there any thought of the future use for that? Is there a thought of making that for housing?
What's it zoned? Is it zoning?
It's right on the highway, so I'm sure it's on,
Whatever.
yeah. And that's some, we look into, but it's big enough to put
Multifamily housing.
housing in it.
McDonald's.
But it's county owned, and then,
There.
if there's something out there that we would have wanted to use that for some other reason, I don't know.
And that would probably require a lot of private. It just sat through 3 presenters at the conference. Most of the funding, especially coming from the federal level right now, is for single family homes. There's USDA's 515 program, which is for multifamily housing, has remained unfunded now for years.
Yeah, so we're looking at.
So that was like a fund that would have built like the man.
Mhm.
The program exists, but the feds have not funded it in years.
Yeah, we're looking at different funding, so,
Yeah.
but is it a possibility of the board, that would have to be a decision of the board if we want to use that for that? Or is there something else that we want to use that for in the future?
What's being done with the property for the municipal marketplace?
That, at this point, is still going, but it's,
They've got financing now.
Oh, they
The
do.
state land bank is
Yeah.
helping us with that.
but that's still only, how many units is that? That's not enough.
Is it so many?
We got dropped to, it was
Did it drop?
48, now it's down to 32.
That could be.
36,
Okay.
32, 33.
I think we're good.
Somewhere in that neighborhood, yeah.
How many acres is behind the health department?
I think 3.
Oh, so not kind of a huge.
Not huge,
They were, but they were talking
be
about one
500.
time putting the ambulance up there, the ambulance.
Right, and that's what I said, is. I don't. Yes, we are shrinking, not shrinking, we're growing, so and everything for our services is getting bigger. And we don't have most, we're maxed out on space here, so at some point. I think we do gotta do something, I don't know if it's. In our same physical place here or what, but, and that's, I don't think we're gonna have to do anything for 10 years. But I think after 10 years, I think if musing in Alger County keeps growing, we're gonna have to probably really think into that. But then it's gonna be where,
But if there's property in Chatham, right, and then property in Grand Marais,
yeah,
and you have the architect that says the designs can be custom for the size of the lot,
Right.
can those just be duplicated or
That's what it
replicated
is.
across? the
We're-
three?
I own one piece of property myself that we're looking at putting it on also.
Well, that would make the most sense, wouldn't it? Just use
But
the
it's-
same design and just that's.
Well, that's what we're gonna do, but this piece of property up here, do we wanna put that same design? That's what we're gonna have put all the money into one design. So we change it, and it's just going through. I actually sat down with Halls today, just to look at the design from our architect. Architects like to really put in a lot of stuff that's not needed. So we're trying to streamline this down. The biggest thing is trying, and that's why nobody does it, is because what you get from rent and what it costs to build it now is not there.
Right.
That's why you don't have nobody knocking on doors building these. We're going a different route, and I think we can do it. But we, do we wanna, that's, I think, a nicer spot for it there. I'd rather say, heck, put it on my property, but as a county commissioner, I gotta say, that's a good piece, but on the other hand, if we ever want to expand and put something up there in the future. Is that where we want it though, even?
So this is the conversation starter about a piece of property that we have.
Right.
What we'd like to do with it in the near future.
Right.
Alright.
So right now, I talked to Grand Marais, I did talk to Sherry today, and she's still up to giving 3.5 acres of that lot, or that 20 acres or 40 acres, whatever it is.
Yeah,
So they're still interested in that, and then we do have the village property. And then we were gonna do one more they want 8 units at Grand Marais, she said.
Yeah.
So I think probably only 4 would fit on the one in the village,
4 units?
4 units.
Well, 1 8-unit apartment though. I think an 8-unit will fit there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think Barry Polson had said it would before,
yeah.
yeah. So whatever we put there, and then either we're trying to figure out which other property to use, because we're gonna do the 3.
See, I got a piece of property at Miners, 10 acres, right off 58, just before Miners. And it's all built. There's nothing on it right now. I put them on there, but then that one, if you did do it, there'd be 4 8-unit complexes on it. Eventually, which I think would really help with and they'd be 2-bedroom units with garage. But I think there's still a need, maybe up in another around the coastal town too. A lot of people don't want to live right in town, they'd rather live up there, but a lot of people that don't have a car might want to live somewhere closer to the city. There's nothing really in the city big enough to get it. We do have Wetmore, which has, like that piece of property we have. Within walking distance, 2 blocks, there's a gas station, there is the grocery store, there's a bank, there's post office, it's there.
Well, how about, you're talking about single family units,
Multi-family unit,
but you said something about there's money for single family.
Right, but that's a whole,
that's a whole,
Rather-
we're looking into a whole.
Trying to-
different-
I'm
Yeah.
just
Yep.
let me finish here. Couldn't you put a bunch of, single family units out at the airport? Some of that land that's.
then the biggest thing there is, again, there's no transportation available to them.
This is what we're looking
Well,
at.
you have AMCAP.
Right, but that's a limited availability, and
But
at the
if you-
moment, we are trying to also maintain the airport as aviation related uses.
But you still have property there.
Yes, we own property. All right, and with that note, I apologize. I am going to bail out because it is the mayor's last meeting and I will attend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, yes. So I want to go to my dad's last
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah, congratulations from us, eh?
Yeah, he served many years now.
Sheriff, do you have a last comment?
Okay.
I do have a question for Pam though. Where is the cell tower out in Chatham? Where are we at with that?
When was the last time it was checked?
No, this is the one we're gonna put up.
You can mark
It's
it.
not.
No, it is,
Thank you all.
Thank you.
I think it's
See you, Mike.
East
See you, Mike.
Springs Road down there. They did check it out and they said,
That's, it's in Chatham, that's what.
yeah, they said it is a good place for the tower. It has fiber out there, it's a good, everything fits. So as soon as they get money, they were going to think about, they said they were gonna put one up. But that, no one checked lately, right? Probably not. We probably need to check with them again.
Who's that?
Sam's been working with someone,
Oh,
Sam Grahovic,
okay,
so I could have them check on that again.
sure, like to push it.
Yeah,
And then what about, remember that property that went back to the county on 94, they're just west of Chatham? Is there anything going on with that?
are you talking about the old sawmill?
Yeah,
That was purchased by the land bank. And we were able to get grant money to clean that all up. There's a lot of debris, a lot of
Yeah.
stuff that's gotta be done there. So, I have RFP out right now, because it has to be checked for environmental first. So we're in the process of getting all that done. So that's where we are with that.
oh, okay. But that tower's still ongoing.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we really need that.
But I gathered it was, they were kind of low on funding now, AT&T, that was AT&T tower, wasn't it?
I didn't give it.
I'm not really sure.
I think it was no? I think it was AT&T tower.
When it comes to the towers, Sam's we got 9 of them throughout the county. He could tell you everything about all of them.
Right. Because this was, AT&T would actually put the tower up. And we put stuff on it, if I remember right.
That's all I have.
Public comment? None. Adjourn.